Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey, and it's Monday, time for a Facebook Live. Oh, let's see. Of course, I've got my computer messed up already. There we go. I think it's working now. So today, you know, a lot of people are doing Christmas in July, so I thought I would share a Christmas card with you today because there's no reason to get bent out of shape about Christmas cards. You need to go ahead and start them now so that when December comes, you can enjoy the pleasure of the season and not be worrying about getting your Christmas cards done. So if you do a couple a month, then you'll have all your cards done. The good thing about this card is it's a perfect card for making a whole bunch at the same time, because you can kind of do them in a, a line, you know, stamp all your wreaths, stamp all the words, stamp all the things, and then put them together. So that's what we could do with this one. Now, Cottage Wreath is a returning stamp set. It's not in the catalog. It's online only. So if you want that, it's 159652. And it does have matching dies. It won't be the bundle price, but it's still well worth it. So you get several different kinds of wreaths and the outlines. You get some holly, you get some branches. These kind of, you get the acorn. I was going to say it looks like a pine cone, but it's not. It's just these branches. You get a bow, all kinds of things that you can use with this one. And it works for, depending on the color choices, you can use it for Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas. Or if you want to add flowers to it, then it certainly would work for springtime. See that little spider? You can have him hanging down in a wreath if you want. So what I've done is paired this with new products. So it helps to have your older products and then your new ones, and you're not having to invest in so much money. And so this way you get two for the price of one, sort of. I'm pairing it with Brightest Glow, which is the stamp set for my class to go this month. So if you're interested in that, you can order the stamp to go. Oh, good. Hi, Karen. I'm glad you're watching from your sister's house. Tell her hi for me. That's great. So I'm pairing this because I wanted to use the Joy Sentiment, and I love the larger Merry Christmas. Now, this Merry Christmas will fit in the wreath. So if you don't want to do both, then you could do that. Hi, Polly. Gosh, you guys are just jumping on today. So let's put that out to the side and we'll get started. Now, you know, this is something I don't do very often on Facebook, is heat embossing. And I know it's because I'm lazy and I don't like to get it out and it makes a mess, but we're going to heat emboss today. I shouldn't say I'm lazy. I forget about heat embossing. Do you guys? I just kind of like simple stamping, so I don't know. Hi, Treasure. Thanks for joining us. So when you're going to heat emboss, you want to use an embossing buddy because it will cut down on the static of your paper. Makes it a little easier for when you go to stamp and do the heat embossing. Now, the one thing that I will say about this set is it is tricky to line up the stamp set with the die. But if you'll notice, there's a tab on these dies. And so once you figure out where that will line up the best, then take a Sharpie marker or a permanent marker and put a polka dot on there. It won't hurt your die. And that way, when you go to die cut them, you won't have to sit and try to twist and line up the die and go around and around. That's what I have to do. But you only have to do it once, and then go ahead and mark it. And hopefully you'll remember why you put that little polka dot on there. Now we want to ink this up real well. And put that. Now, of course, you can't see, but it's there. If you look real closely, it's kind of shiny. Are you guys dropping in and out? Because my internet seems to be cutting off. So let me know if it's really bad. I'll see what I can do about it. I don't know what I could do, but we'll see. So I'm going to heat emboss this with gold. I guess it's just bad internet day today. Don't be stingy with your embossing powder. Oh, good. I'm glad it's okay. Thanks, Jamie and Polly. It's probably just my computer. I keep getting a big screen. Because you can put this back in. You don't be stingy. Put the embossing powder back in your container, and it'll last a long time. So you don't have to worry about that. But you want a nice thick coat on there. And now we're going to heat emboss it. And I know it's going to make noise, but we'll just ignore it. I think that looks pretty good. Now, I always like to heat it from the front and the back so that I'm sure that it's gotten a good melt to it. Now we'll see if we can hopefully line this up without too much trouble. It is tricky. There. Maybe I need to go over one more. There we go. I'm telling you, this is the trickiest one I've ever dealt with. There we go. It's getting there. So much for me telling you how to stamp this. I do see it, but it's not quite where I want it to be. There we go. It's just off a little bit. So we'll move that green dot a little bit to the left. But just pay attention to those little tabs. Now, they used to put the tab on the stamp, but this one doesn't have that for some reason. I don't know why. Now we're going to run this through the cut and emboss machine. We're going to use the mini today. This is a good one for the mini because it's not a very large die. Except, of course, then I bumped it. I put an extra tab on there. I love this Post-it tape because then I use it over and over again until it's all shredded, and then I get a new piece. Now, if you use non-traditional colors for Christmas, I do have an idea for you later. I think bubble bath would make a really pretty Christmas card. What do you guys think? Bubble bath and maybe seafoam green. We'll have to try that later. Ooh, that one came out pretty good. Now we'll put this to the side so we don't lose it. It's pretty large, though. I hope I wouldn't lose that. And now we want the word joy for the inside. I'm just going to stamp it with Royal Red. We're going a little more traditional today. And this is going to go inside and out. I don't have a ruler. Let's see. If you have a 2-inch punch, that would work. I don't have one, or I couldn't find one. So I'm going to use this die. That's just enough to go inside that wreath. Punch would be certainly easier, but I tried all mine. Maybe we used to have a 2-inch. I'm not real sure, and I might have one. I just couldn't find it. And this works. You could also just kind of do it, guesstimate, and draw your own circle. I know most of us are on a budget, and we want to make the most of our supplies. That's why I like being able to create new things with just a few new supplies. And it still looks fun and fresh. So that's going to go in there. All right, we'll put that to the side. We're going to mount this on a piece of basic white. It's kind of boring. So we're going to run this through the cut and emboss machine with Merry Melody, and it's music notes. That works good for Christmas, doesn't it? That works good for birthdays. Happy birthday, Christmas. All kinds of things. Oh, so the cuts keep coming in and out. That's what I was thinking was going on. But hopefully it won't be too bad. Now, I'm going to use some of this fine shimmer that we have, and that's where I was thinking. I think all of these colors, I'm not sure about the Night of Navy. Wouldn't the Berry Burst. I'm not sure if this is considered Bubble Bath or Fresh Freesia, but it would work for Christmas. Pretty Peacock, and what is this, Lost Lagoon. So all of these would work for Christmas, and probably Night of Navy if you use silver. I think that would look really pretty, wouldn't it? So that's a possibility. And so we're just going to use a tiny bit of that. This is 1.5 inches by 4, and we're just going to put that on there, and that'll make our little wreath kind of pop. Now I'm going to use tear and tape for 2 reasons. This is not very porous, and then this is bumpy. So because it's textured, make sure I've got the right side going. Things just don't stick to it quite as well as I think they should. And you could use Stampin' Seal Plus too. I just, have my favorite adhesives, and that's what I use the most. I think we all do that. Oh, let's see my pick tool. I'll have to use this one. Must have put it over on my work table. Kind of been slacking lately, reading books, not making cards. So that might be why I can't find stuff. Okay. Now we can go ahead and put our wreath on here. Now we're just going to put that on with some tear and tape. For the same reason, this is not absorbent. We want to make sure this sticks. Yeah, I hope the music notes hang around for a while, Jamie. It will. But of course, as they tell us, we don't ever have to get rid of stuff. We can use it. But you always like new, fresh things. So to me, the music notes are nice and fresh. We haven't had musical things for a while. Now we're going to put this on with some dimensionals, and we're going to use the edge pieces. Here's some scrappy pieces here, because it's not quite wide enough for a regular dimensional. So we're just going to trim some pieces here. I've seen some demonstrators that go ahead and slice all their dimensionals in half. Just go ahead and then you just use a half of a dimensional. And that's a good way to save some money. You need to have scissors that are you reserve for sticky stuff. You don't want your ribbon scissors to get stick on them. I think we could use one more right there. It's kind of hard to tell. I think saving money is important, but I don't like my cards to fall apart, so I'm pretty picky about my adhesives. Yeah. See if we can get that. There, that's a little better. Okay, now we're going to mount this on just a basic white card. Now, if you wanted to, dress it up a little bit, put a little piece of red behind it, or the pretty peacock. Let's see what that would look like. I might dress that up a little bit. What do you think? Should we put a Oh, I think that's pretty. Let's trim that. It's not going to take but a second because it's already pretty close. I think I just needed to trim a little off the bottom. And then that. So see, if you don't want to, you can make this be simple or dress it up, step it up a little with an extra layer. Nothing like crafting on the fly here. All that. I'm afraid my stamp sets are over here. I'm going to lay something on them. Now I'm going to raise this up by using the foam strips. I just took a big sheet and cut it so that I can just put it on the sides. In all reality, you could probably just use the whole sheet. We'll trim. Oh, thanks, Jamie. I'm glad that the red works for you. And then we'll put this one here. I think the reason I don't just use the whole sheet is that the sheets are not quite the size of a card front. And this way, they are more like what you want. So we can go ahead and pull. And I put that in there just to keep it from being saggy in the middle. You could also just use a whole bunch of dimensionals. I've been known to do that. This is a pretty, now do you see assembly line, stamp a bunch of wreaths, stamps joy, cut your pieces, make 10 cards all at once. Now we need a bow, and we're going to use this really pretty ribbon. It's red with gold, shiny gold polka dots. Can you see that? This is online only. It's an online exclusive. So you'll see it in the store on the web page, not the catalog. And I don't expect it to be in the mini catalog because it's an online exclusive. It looks a little thick, but it ties beautifully. So we want to make sure our dots are showing. We have to twist that around when we pull it through. We don't want the back side showing, just the pretty polka dots. And then we'll try. It's easy to cut these edges because the dots kind of guide you. And we'll put that on with some glue dots. I'm going to put 2 because this is a bigger bow. It's not quite as dainty, but I need it. It still makes me happy. Let's go ahead and do our inside while we can. And I think I'm going to stamp the inside with the pretty peacock because then that brings the second color to the inside. And I'm just using the Merry Christmas from Brightest Glow. It's nice and large, like large sentiments. So I was worried I'd stamped this card upside down. Have you done that before? I mail them that way too. It doesn't bother me. When you cut this piece that's 1.5 inches, you're going to have a little piece left. And so I just used it, and I cut a couple of those little leaves to decorate the inside. Of course, you could just stamp some of the leaves or some holly. But I thought this was pretty and it's shiny, and I didn't want it to go to waste. So we'll put our little leaves there. Oh, you know, I think I might just find a little red punch and put a holly berry there, but I won't do that right now. That would be pretty, wouldn't it? A couple little holly berries. And now we need some bling. And that's, I chose some new. These are called Sparkle Gems. Aren't they pretty? They come in gold, black, and silver. It's kind of a bronzy gold, but it's still pretty. So if we did a Night of Navy one, then definitely we could use these silver dots, couldn't we? Might need to do that. So we're going to use the bronzy gold ones. And lots of bling on this card. Sparkle Gem, I like that. And now we'll put some on our wreath. It would even be pretty to put some red ones on this wreath. If you have some of our retired red rhinestones, I'd say go for it. This card was inspired by Dawn Griffiths. I saw a card that she made like this last year. I just updated it with this year's new products. I love when we can get ideas from other people. That's the whole part. Now this was pretty quick, wasn't it? So we could easily mass produce some cards like this. So I've got that one. That's the one I practiced with. Then I tried it with distressed gold. And this time I used another new product, these gold, I think they're called neutrals. Yeah, neutral sequins. So then that made me, when I looked at that, I thought, well, look, that's copper. I could use a copper behind here and do the wreath and those sequins. And look at that brown. Wouldn't that be a stunning with the brushed gold? And then use the gold embossing. It would just be, I think it'd be beautiful. And again, we could do silver. So buy the new embellishments, use an older set. Pretty good deal, huh? And then this one I used the Lost Lagoon. And then these sequins are called the Sequin Trio. And I think that really that shaded spruce, but I like the way it brings out the bright green color. So we've got same design, 3 different colors. Only dolled up with new bling. That was the whole thing. And then I was looking through, I had this from last year, this Evening Evergreen, and I think that would look very pretty too. So if you have some of that, you might give that a try. So I hope this gives you some ideas of how to use stamp sets you currently own, but dressing them up with new bling or new ribbon. And then you have something brand new for 2023. So thanks for joining me today. Sorry that the internet keeps blinking in and out. I hope that will not last forever. And I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.